23 سنة في السجن وما عادش عن عيالي أي حاجة. بنفسي بقى أشوف أدور على عيالي وأموت في وسطهم.
In Egypt, every minute, 3 cases face imprisonment for debts less than $200.
نشتري جيركن ب 2 جنيه، ميه مصديه في جيركن في مقطوره صاج، نيجي نشتري ميه ب 2 جنيه جيركن.
مش طايله ميه حلو عشان اغسل واطبخ واعمل حاجات للعيال.
بقالنا 16 يوم ما شربناش الميه. عيالنا مرضت.
Every minute, 7 cases are diagnosed with renal failure.
صابرين على المر دوت بقالنا سنين، أنا عندي 51 سنة، معايا شباب مش عارفين نعيش، فيران، صراصير، سحاب، صابرين على كل حاجة.
Every minute, 6 people become homeless due to lack of funds for housing or due to deterioration of their homes.
What is it that gives time meaning? Is it that it moves? Time passes like falling grains in an hourglass. A fraction of a second makes the difference between life and death. But remember, time doesn't stop for you. Neither will it for us. For some of us move forward, others stuck in the past. Thus, we must be quick to make a move, for this moment could be our last. 180 members decided to make their move, anticipating each problem before it happens, and leaving their fingerprint through their actions, values, and presence. I'm Hamada.
I'm Mughazi.
I'm Muna.
I'm Nada.
And our impact started by the Bayt project.
A mother is the nucleus of her family. In Egypt, 30% of women are considered the sole breadwinners for their houses. Mainly poor and lacking experience, they go beyond their physical and mental capacities, risking their freedom for the well-being of their families, no matter the obstacles or the pain.
Amal took a $50 debt to educate her child. Zainab is indebted for $150 just to see her daughter in a white gown. And Nagwa borrowed $550 to pay her husband's hospital bills.
These women are all to be imprisoned for amounts we spend without thinking, and are left for the fates of either prison or donations. But our team decided to be proactive and break this cycle, targeting indebted women, creating employment opportunities, helping them repay their debts, and preventing them from jail in the very first place.
Through a needs assessment conducted in partnership with Masal Khair, an Egyptian social development organization, we worked on a two-folded approach. First, identifying the women's situation. Mostly illiterate with income levels ranging from $40 to $60 per month, we found their abilities to repay their debts on time impossible.
Second fold, fulfilling a need. We found a market gap of thousands of working mothers across Egypt who don't trust housekeepers, fearing their lack of integrity, hygiene, and the way they treat their children.
Accordingly, we launched the Bayt project. In Arabic, Bayt stands for the house. And yes, the house that was once their cause of prison threat is now their path to freedom. Bayt is a service launched to overcome all household concerns by providing the indebted women with job opportunities in babysitting, housekeeping, and cooking. Skills they already master and generate enough income to repay their debts.
The service was based upon demanded yet rarely provided service quality fundamentals, hygiene, security, and ethics. Accordingly, we started by choosing 60 cases fitting the specific selection criteria. Our business model was then established through 3 steps.
First step, capacity building. By partnering with Cairo Sitters, a professional babysitting entity in Egypt, chosen women were put under probation for 25 days, during which they were given 160 hours of training on business ethics, hygiene, and childcare. Women successfully passing the probation period were then certified and started their journey.
Second, setting an operational plan. According to their educational backgrounds, women formed a team of managers, operators, inspectors, and workers. A customer would then register through the website or a phone call. An appointment is set for the inspectors to assess the household and ensures the women's security. Then, an agreement is signed with its owners. After that, the account is verified and ready to order.
Third, security of the beneficiaries. Eligible women provided copies of their national IDs and reports of criminal records. Also, a contract was signed with each woman to guarantee her full rights as well as her commitments towards the company.
Bayt is now officially adjusted and run by the indebted women. It is self-sustained for a year through an intensive feedback system, a proactive problem-solving strategy, and sustained customer satisfaction. All prices are served in different packages fitting the market needs, ensuring lower and competitive prices.
Bayt was awarded as Best E-commerce Idea for 2016 by Aramix. Also, we guaranteed its sustainability through continuous follow-ups that maintain its operating efficiency.
Bayt has shown a tremendous impact. Economically, it has provided 60 job opportunities, increasing their average monthly incomes by 125% and repaying $3,400 of unpaid bills monthly and saving $27,000 of annual governmental spending on indebted women.
Bayt will be expecting a total revenue of almost 152,000 US dollars by the end of 2017. Also, its prices decreases households' expenses by almost 40% monthly, mostly paid to foreign workers, thus enforcing Egyptian women's right in the labor market while enhancing her capacity to practice her domestic responsibilities.
Socially, Bayt empowered the women to maintain their freedom and upgrade their living standards. They are now more financially aware, reversing each minute of prison threat and exploiting this time in practicing the rights of dignity.
To add on, Bayt filled the market gap by providing a sense of security to thousands of households across Egypt. It left its imprints on the value of the family, hindering unbearable losses, preventing mothers from imprisonments, and provide the children with their basic rights of food, shelter, healthcare, and education.
Bayt's mission is to stay proactive. From here, a future plan is set to also target previously imprisoned women of similar cases, giving them a chance for a new beginning. Also, Bayt will be serving more market segments, providing the services of nursing and elderly sitting and creating an edge over any new entrants in its market.
Bayt perceived the time of the indebted women differently, where instead of leading them to prison, it led them toward a dignified and stable life. And since the darkest minute has only 60 seconds, our impact continued to Jazeera project.
Jazeera, a village on the west bank of the River Nile, where 41,000 residents perceive every minute they live as fear, despair, and agony. Their water is contaminated by agricultural wastes, and their only shelter is slums they had to build themselves. To them, water and shelter are no longer basic needs of life, but faraway dreams they cannot attain.
Our aim was then to implement a comprehensive project in Jazeera village, serving their water and shelter catastrophes and acting as a model of what could be achieved widely. We started by tackling Jazeera's water crisis, because worse than seeing the problem is having it hidden. Although it seemed normal to the bare eyes, it still left 25% of the residents with kidney failures. Water filters were rarely found, and those found cost them $180 to $220. Unaffordable, inefficient, and with a negligible lifespan.
Our team conducted a needs assessment where we approached 100 inhabitants as well as the medical units in the village, identifying 4 steps for our business model.
First step, data collection. We conducted a professional sampling process, gathering 20 liters and analyzing them biologically and chemically, discovering 400% more dissolved solids than the acceptable levels. Unfortunately, we couldn't resolve such a chemical issue using the ordinary biofilters available.
Second, creating a customized product. Here, our BUE engineers and professors designed a product that reduces solids level by 67%, trapping all impurities that affect the quality of water.
It provides up to 90 liters of clean water per hour. That's 720 liters per day, and costing $45 for a year. Thus, dividing this cost on a year would mean 12 cents per day for 720 liters. It is also environmentally friendly and is produced with commonly found raw materials in 1 day only.
Third, certification. After 6 months of extensive research, the product was officially certified from the Scientific Center of Environmental Hazards for public usage and production.
Fourth, sustaining its production. Through local associations in the area, we chose Karim as our first entrepreneur. Karim's only experience was being a worker in a stone factory. Yet through a 25 hours training developed and delivered by the BOE team on maintenance, marketing, and production, he gained competence and autonomously assembled 35 units under professional supervision.
Karim then penetrated the market and started selling the product through several local distributing channels. Also, we organized 2 awareness campaigns educating 10,000 people about their health hazards and how our product tackles it.
A Jazeera project successfully achieved the triple bottom line. Economically, the monthly income of Karim and his family increased by $590 through the selling of 35 units. Also, our project saves the Jazeera residents from paying $355 on buying clean water annually and investing them into higher standards of living.
Socially, Al Jazeera inhabitants can now access clean water, raising their quality of life and enhancing their productivity. And since clean water means better health care, it reduces the risks of kidney failures affecting Al Jazeera children directly, enabling 30 of them to go back to school.
Environmentally, 1 unit of our product filters 720 liters per day. That's 2.6 times a household's average consumption, and treating an average of 263,000 liters of contaminated water per year.
Now, Karim has expanded and hired an assistant to help in the maintenance of the filters and marketing them in nearby villages.
And as our dream of clean water came true, the next phase was launched, Palm Crete, a project targeting Jazeera's housing crisis.
Imagine wandering the streets, feeling lost, spending every night in the gloomy weather on a creaking wooden bench that you call bed. Every morning you wonder, how will I sleep, clean, or eat? Bakr's family are victims of this gruesome fate, following the destruction of their slum that left them on the streets of a Jazeera village, with no home or shelter.
Since 2012, our team has been working on a revolutionary solution to not only rescue 41,000 residents in Jazeera, but 23 million others living in slums across Egypt. Our team works to recycle one of the richest resources in Egypt, palm grades, where 180 million of them are annually grown, yet burned.
Our innovation, Palmocrete, uses palm grades treated with megapolyurethane as a more efficient alternative to steel, enabling the construction of walls with no additional material support. Moreover, Palmocrete promotes the safety of a building with 300 kilograms per meter squared of live load, 50% more than the Egyptian safety code.
Economically, palm grades cost 75% less than steel, reducing the cost of ton from $670 to $28. It also creates job opportunities for planting, collecting, treating, and transporting, in addition to the building procedure itself.
Socially, it saves children and thousands of families from living in slums, giving them the rights of privacy, shelter, and proper living conditions, which then becomes their path towards better education and healthcare.
Environmentally, a Palmocrete building preserves 12 degrees in summer and emits them in winter, resembling a more responsiveness to climate change. It is a ductile material with more resistance to natural disasters such as earthquakes. It also recycles palm grades, thus reducing combustion and contributing towards a cleaner environment.
In 2012, we started by building a prototype in southern Egypt. We then initiated a validation process to scale up the innovation. It took us 4 years, according to the rules of the Egyptian Engineering Trade Union, to receive the official certifications. And finally, in 2016, we are proud to say that our innovation is now ready for wide and safe implementation.
Our business model started by choosing 3 entrepreneurs from Jazeera with engineering-related backgrounds. We then partnered with the Masrair Consultancy to provide them with 200 hours of courses on the Palmocrete technique, where they took on the responsibility of implementing the business model and assessing the village's needs, reaching Bakr's 5 orphans.
Here, the entrepreneur's first test was initiated, a Palmocrete building where the orphans find shelter. It took them 2 weeks to build and costs $800 only, saving $2,700, since using conventional materials would have cost them $3,500, thus allowing families to spend more on healthcare and quality education.
To ensure the project's scalability and sustainability, a Palmocrete Center was established and run by the entrepreneurs in Jazeera for communication with its residents. Also, an awareness campaign was arranged about the innovation's importance for their safety and well-being.
Today we stand proudly and say that after years of hard work, it paid off. Not only did we save 5 orphans from a gloomy fate, but we also promoted the potential of Palmocrete in Egypt. Through the domino effect, we influenced other official engineering entities in using this same technique. Also, we initiated our 3rd phase after being approached by the district officials to build the first legal market for street vendors in Jazeera with 75 Palmocrete booths.
Next year, we will be presenting not only a fully built construction, but tons of other ones, saving hundreds more from unknown destinies. Through our 5-year plan, by the year 2021, we aim to turn Jazeera into the first agglomeration hosting environmentally friendly structures.
Through our entrepreneurial approaches, Enactus Egypt contributed to 13 Sustainable Development Goals of 2030, fulfilling poverty, hunger, healthcare, and education in Bayt and Jazeera's 2 phases. Bayt also reinforced gender equality, while Jazeera's key impacts were clean water and creating sustainable communities.
Our projects provided decent work opportunities, innovations and infrastructures, and sustained responsible consumption and production. We have promoted mechanisms for climate action while saving life on land. Finally, our projects were implemented with one comprehensive target of promoting peace and justice. We have been using every minute not just for innovations, but for applying what we innovate to create businesses for people who truly suffer.
In the Bayt project, we created 60 job opportunities for indebted women, increasing their incomes by 125%, saving $27,000 yearly and reversing each minute into a lifetime of freedom.
In the Jazeera project, Enactus BUE has purified the most basic need in life, changing the lives of 41,000 people. Because better than curing diseases is preventing them from the very first place.
Through Crete, our innovation is now resolving the housing crisis for thousands of people across Egypt. Since being proactive requires an innovation that tackles what seems to others as impossible.
11,890 working hours, 6 projects implemented, and $72,000 saved, empowering citizens, changing mentalities, and overcoming challenges.
Enactus Egypt impacted a total of 115,600 people. We invested our time, effort, and hearts to change people's lives, and we fulfilled our promise to those people. Our strength lies in our dreams, and our dreams are strengthened by our impact. Today we say that we are present.
Great job. Really impressive. On the Al Jazeera, you referenced Kareem as an entrepreneur. Is he the only one? And beyond Kareem, any thoughts around more entrepreneurs being able to scale this project?
Thank you, sir, for your question. Well, Kareem has started on his own. However, after starting to produce the filters and creating his market, he has now hired an assistant. Also, the scalability of the project is a major concern for us. Thus, we set a plan by which we tend to market the filter in the nearby villages. So by time, there will be more entrepreneurs marketing the filter and producing it and maintaining it in not only El Jazeera village, but the nearby villages. Hope I answered your question.
Just 2 points for clarity. One, could you just reference what's the average wage per hour for an individual in Egypt?
The average wage per month for an individual in Egypt is almost $80.
Okay. And then for the Crete, I mean, do you have full ownership on this product itself, or is this with a collaboration with another company?
Yes, we have ownership. However, we have a partnership with a consultancy company because they are professional engineers, so they give us the supervision and the technical background that we may lack as students in order to ensure the security and safety of the buildings. And to also make sure that it is 100% legal according to the rules of the Egyptian Engineering Trade Union. Thank you.
Hi, just 2 questions for clarification. One question, out of the 41,000 residents in Al Jazeera, how many of them regularly receive the water from this project?
I'm sorry, can you repeat this part?
How many residents of Al Jazeera receive water from this filter?
Thank you. Well, El Jazeera has 41,000 residents. 15,000 lack 100% any sort of clean water. Now what we have made is that we have made 2 awareness campaigns. We reached 10,000 people, and we now have Kareem and his assistant. He has now sold 35 units in only a period of almost 6 months. Each household has an average of 5 people, so that's almost 165 people. Thank you.
Just on Crete, sorry. You said that you received approval over the past 4 years, starting in 2012. I was just wondering if you could go through specifically what happened in 2016 with Palm Crete again.
Thank you. Well, we started in 2012. That was a prototype. Afterwards, there were regular tests that was made on the building to make sure to test the short-term deflection and the long-term deflection. In 2016, we finished the paperwork and the legal requirements to start scaling up the project and building it. So in 2016, we built a house and a Palm Crete center in El Jazeera village, and we have a 5-year plan by which we tend to make El Jazeera the first agglomeration in Egypt hosting environmentally friendly structures. Thank you.
Great presentation. A question though, each of these projects, are quite mammoth, and why didn't you focus on one versus going to 3?
Thank you, sir. This is not only 1 year's work. Palm Crete started back in the days when I was even in school. We try to make our projects sustainable. We try to make our projects continue for years. So now what we are presenting is not only the impact of one project or the impact of 1 year, it is what we have been doing for years of hard work. We have our own team for every project. They are fully focused on this project. They have their full business plan. They have their full feasibility studies, everything regarding the project. Today, what we are doing is that we are trying to present only part of the very hard work that we've done. And we also have 6 projects. However, we are presenting 3 today. So thank you.
On your Bayt project, I'm going to assume the 60 jobs you created are for women that were in prison earlier. How do you plan to scale that project to get to the impact of 6% decrease in the Egypt women imprisonment rate?
Thank you, sir. Well, first, let me clarify a very important point. We're not hiring women who were previously imprisoned. We are hiring women before they get imprisoned